I am Heather O'Sullivan Canney, and we are in Cary, North Carolina. Fundamentally, I'm just very, very passionate about trying to inspire, educate people on the fact that we all have such tremendous personal power, potential, whatever you want to call it. I think all too often we get so caught up in just a bunch of stupid, crazy stories that people have made up along the way. I always tell everybody, just change the story. Whatever that record player is in your head. I'm dating myself with that one, but and it's so interesting, especially right now with all the stuff that's been going on, in the economy and everything else. And I think, and to me, I think the ultimate freedom and independence is entrepreneurship. I don't think that necessarily everybody is in that mindset, but even if you work somewhere else, you can have something and own something and create something amazing, whether it's from your hobby, whether it's a nonprofit, whatever that is. And it drives me crazy because so many people, I think, have no concept of their own ability to do that. And so as a result, people feel so out of control, like you said. They think that they're the victim of the economy, the victim of their employer or whatever. And I just want to say, this can be the best thing that ever happened to you or the worst. It's really up to you. Funny thing with the younger generation is they don't really have that sense of I can't. And it's the grown-ups that do. But now today, especially with the internet and social media, oh my God, we have never had the ability to do more. Never before could you reach out and connect with anybody, no matter who they are. And it's funny because, and I do a lot of workshops and speaking on social media, and of course people want to know how to use it for business, and you have your people that are on Facebook that are just kind of hanging out with friends. But that is so tremendously powerful. The people, we were talking, the resources that are out there, the ability to connect to anybody that can do anything, whatever you don't know how to do, whatever is not your gift or talent, in a matter of minutes. Social networking is not really, it's not that different than anything we've ever done before. It just gives us the capacity to do it on a level and a plane that we never imagined. And it's really not like futuristic. It's almost like we've come full circle to now it's just a really big small town. For me, at least, two of the most important things are gratitude. Just being in a state of gratitude in and of itself is so amazing and powerful, and people sort of see that as fluff, but it's tremendously powerful on every level. And being fearless. The only thing that keeps us from doing anything that we ever wanted to do or capable of doing was fear. Wherever that comes from, whether it comes from I always say, we have our own voices, but then we have all the outside voices. Wherever that comes from, getting past that is huge. So for me, call it encourage, inspire, empower, whatever word you want to use. I know that I have to live that and be that. But if I can live that and be that example, then that empowers people to see that maybe they could too. By God, if you're going to sit here and kill yourself to get another job or try and figure out how to start a business or whatever it is, make sure it's what your purpose is. And a lot of people think that that's just really like some pie in the sky thing, and it's so not. Because fundamentally what gives you your energy, what gives you your talent, it's not just about being happy. It's not the person who said, you can go home and be happy. It has nothing to do with being happy. It has to do everything to do with, that's why you're here. It's what you're supposed to be doing. Most people, the first place their head goes is what's going to make money. Like, I want to do something in the blah, blah, blah field. Now what's going to make money? And that's, I believe, why most businesses fail. Because quite frankly, if you don't have a burning passion for what you're doing, you are never going to punch through all those things that are going to pop up and jump in your way. And that's why, you've done the last 27 MLMs or whatever. It's because you were just trying to jump on the next money bandwagon, and there was no fuel to get you through the stuff that you have to go through. And that's just the way it is. I mean, the stuff's gonna come up. Each and every one of us has the power to do something beyond anything we can even imagine. And just getting to a place where, don't even, forget the how and the whatever, just figure out what it is, and then just do something. So I'm here to tell you that the people that you have the ability to meet and the value that can bring into your life and into the lives of others trumps any amount of money that you could ever hope to make. And the amount of money that you ultimately will make, I'm convinced, will always be bigger because of it. But truly and honestly, if nothing else moves you to do what you're going to do, move just to move somebody else. You really have to surround yourself with supportive surroundings. I mean, you have to make a conscious effort to do that. And that's supportive people. And that's the hardest thing, because sometimes there are people that you're just really used to. We call them friends. Sometimes they're just people we're really used to having around. Or even people we like. But if they're not supportive, and that sounds really selfish to a lot of people, but if it's keeping you from making the difference in the world that you're supposed to make, it's really not. If it's holding you back and holding you down, who's that serving? I was traveling on a new bypass, and the Garmin didn't have the bypass on the Garmin. And I've driven this trip many times, so I know how it goes, but for whatever reason, you just have the stupid thing on, even though you don't need it. Anyway, and the voice, to sort of personify it, it's almost like she's yelling at me. In the little picture, the little car looks like it's in the middle of a field, and she's virtually, or what I'm hearing her say is, for God's sake, find a road. Like, you're going nowhere, What are you doing? And it's just getting louder and louder and louder. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, but it was funny because, and I had to start laughing because I actually caught myself questioning it. Even though I know, I can see the road. It's in front of me just as plain as day. And I've driven it 10 times. Now I can't see the destination, but I know it's gonna get me there. Just as sure as I'm sitting here. And she is just as sure that it's not. Just because she has no idea. And I'm sitting there in the car like a crazy woman, laughing to myself hysterically, because I'm like, that is so like what I'm living in my life right now. There are all these people that are so clear and certain that I am on a road to nowhere. But I wasn't, and I knew it. And even though I knew it, you still have that like doubt. For most people, they don't get it or nothing happens because they don't do anything. And when I speak to people, especially like business groups, I say that's like going to the chamber after hours and sitting in the corner and going home and going, that sucked. Like that was a waste of time. Well, of course it was. Go to a dinner party or cocktail party and go sit outside by yourself and expect something to happen. It ain't gonna happen. You're gonna get back as much as you put in. And there's gonna be good and bad. But there's gonna be more good than bad. And if you're so afraid of the bad, then you're gonna miss the good. I'm speaking at a National Women's Summit in October, and I would say that I'll talk to anybody who will listen. I mean, women are truly my passion, just because that's who I can identify with, and young people, because God willing, I think if we can catch them before life tells them 101 reasons why you can't, that's really important too. So a lot of my focus is on either people that are independent business owners or aspire to be, or at least aspire to have more control in their life and what their life is going to be about. And so I think fundamentally, I guess if you had to sort of put it in one phrase, just be the CEO of your own life. That's really what I want to empower people to do, whatever that looks like for them.